Last 2 months have been the best 2 months of my life, if we're speaking financially. Had a record month and a record week as well. And I rewarded myself with a hat. Recently, I've been realizing that I've been competing in the game of business and not competing in the competition of status, right? I've been more focused on actually being rich opposed to appearing rich to a bunch of poor people. So today's video, obviously a little bit of a good preface, very bold claims here, but I want to say props for not clicking on the video with a bunch of hyper edited title or over promising title, crazy thumbnail, stuff like that. Just a super raw, you just saw a guy sitting in his room and you're like, this kind of the stars have aligned here. And I'm glad they have. So stick around to the video. I don't have some $90 course to sell you, some Discord community, some school community. So don't worry about that. I'm just going to simply be talking to you one-on-one. So first thing I want to say, okay? And this quote, I was reading a book today and it said it, and it kind of stuck with me a lot. It said, the chains of identity are too light to be felt, and then they're too heavy to be broken. So I'm sure you guys can kind of infer what that means, but essentially, your identity shapes who you are and what you do and the people you hang around with and the amount of money you make and all this kinds of stuff. And we are who we are because we are us, right? We are identities. And the chains of identity are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be broken. So if you're slowly basically what that means, and to kind of go in depth, is if you're basically adopting these new habits or these new work ethics, or maybe you wake up at 9 a.m., which is a little too late 2 days in a row, and that slowly, your brain kind of gets used to that, and you slowly start being a person that wakes up at 9 a.m. Now it's just a habit. Now it's on Bluetooth, you're on airplane mode, you're already waking up at 9 a.m. And now the chain for the first couple days, maybe the first week of waking up at 9, which is too late, and you understood that, was a little light. You could have broken it, but it was too light to be felt. And now you've let that habit creep up on you too much, and now it's ingrained in you, and now it's a part of you, and now it's too heavy to break. Does that make sense? So I think it's very important that you understand what's getting you to where you want to go and what's not, right? So something I've really focused on recently is, if you guys know any bit of me, you follow me on Instagram, any of that kind of stuff, you know that I'm an avid user of nicotine. I've gone the last 48 hours without using any, just straight up cold turkey. And that's because I'm focusing on my health. Now, will I probably go back? Maybe occasionally. I'm going to be honest with you guys on this channel. But it's just one of those things to where you have to constantly be testing in your personal life and in your business, right? So if you don't grow, then your business doesn't grow. Business is the perfect vehicle for self-development. And I say that, or self-development is business is the perfect vehicle for self-development. And that's the truth, right? Because when you grow, your business grows. When your business grows, you have the capability to do more things. Therefore, you grow, right? This year I did traveling. I went from, I'll give you the rundown of all the countries I went to. January I went to Miami, so I guess that's not a different country, but I went to Miami, then I went to Croatia, then I went to Germany, then I went to South Africa, then I went to Serbia, then I went to London, then I went to Miami again, then I went back to LA, then from LA I went to Croatia, then I went to Romania, then I went to Switzerland, then back to Romania, then I went to London, then I went back to LA, then I stayed there in LA for 2 weeks, then I went to Paris, I went to Rome, then I went to Paris, then I went back home. And then I moved across the country. It's been a big growing year for me. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about myself, about people, about how to manage my life, manage stress as well. I think my stress tolerance is 10x this year, if I'm being completely honest. I've dealt with payment issues. I've dealt with personal issues. I've dealt with things that I couldn't even fathom. If you were to ask me in January of this year, Smith, think of the worst problem you could have ever faced, and I named it, I've dealt with something that I didn't even think could happen, and it happened. I was like, holy fuck. And I'm proud of the way I've handled all of it. I really am. But I've really been tested this year, and I hope you guys have as well. But I just have really realized like how high your stress tolerance gets after running a business for so long. I mean, people comment on my eye bags and stuff, and like I have a big forehead. It's like, bro, try running a business this high octane, this high input for this long. Like, to put this into perspective for you guys, not only do I run e-com stores, on top of this, I do personal branding as well. I have to put out 2 Instagram Reels minimum a day, a YouTube video every 3 days on the second channel, and then I have to put out a video here, which I haven't been consistent with, but that's already 100 videos a month. On top of running e-com stores. Holy cow, bro. That's a lot of output. And I think I've been able to manage myself pretty well. I'm not going to lie. So I have like one more note I want to kind of bring up. Your identity is, this is a quote I wrote today in the sauna. Your identity is raw potential, the literal clay of your own reality. Your biggest downfall up until now is that you forgot that it's malleable and you have the ability to mold it. Your life is like kinetic sand. It's like clay. It's like on a spinning pot, and you can just grab it and mold it to whatever you want. That's your reality. Your perception of reality is just as real as reality itself. And I don't know if you're new to the channel. I personally think that business is like 90% mindset. I think it's all just an internal battle, and then you get the external, if that makes sense. So people don't understand how like easy it is to just like, you want something and you just go and do things to get it. Where you are now and the dream life you want to live is between a specific set of actions done in a specific set of time frames. Does that make sense? It's like, it's not that far of a reach to think that you can become an NBA player. Like, there's an old Kanye West interview, and he goes, the interview asked him, he's like, do you think you could become do you think you could become an NBA player? He's like, yeah, I do think so. And he's like, what? No, you can't do that. And Kanye's like, no, I can. And I remember watching that when I was 15, and I was like, wow. I mean, that's true. I had that sense of self-belief about myself. I was like, well, does it statistically make sense to do all that and make a bunch of money and travel the world and live as much as I have lived at my age? Is probably not. But I've done it. That means you guys can too. Because I was a 15-year-old kid, bro, watching all these videos in English class, in the back of English class. I used to watch Iman Gadzi podcasts and all this stuff. And I was literally you guys. Like, you're watching me same way that I was watching another guy, same way that one guy was watching another guy, and he was watching, and vice versa, and so on and so forth. You see what I'm saying? Like, your reality is like clay. And the biggest mistake is that you forgot, or you're forgetting every single day that you can mold it to whatever you want. It's just like choice, the art of choice. Choosing is an art. Very much so. You can choose to be happy, same way you can choose to be in a bad mood. You can choose to look at things as a half glass empty or a half glass full. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, choosing is an art. Not only choosing what you want, choosing to do the things that you need to do to get what you want. It's all just one of those things that's like, it makes sense that I am where I am, and I'm not going to toot my own horn. But I think a big mistake for, if I were to like say a couple things to myself when I was like 15 years old starting out, if I had to say a couple things to myself, I'd probably tell myself, bro, time is going to shake it all out, and it all shakes out okay. Time is the best healer. Whatever problem you're facing now is going to be so futile in 6 months. It doesn't last forever. Good things and bad things don't last forever. So you got to enjoy the good things when they're there. And then you got to be happy that good things are coming when the bad things are happening. So it's yin and yang. And if I was 15, I'd tell myself that time is the best healer. Nothing's going to last forever. Like, it's all going to be cool. You're all going to be okay. And I think there's a lot of young guys in this space. There's probably a lot of young guys watching this video. And you probably think, like, I've kind of been through it, dude. Not to say that I'm the wisest man on the planet, but I've been through a lot. And the reason I can talk about time is because I've speed ran a lot of life a little bit, because I've moved so quick and I've worked so hard. But what I want to say is I've been through that. I've been through the ups and downs enough to understand and get in the routine, the habit of life is good, then it's shit, then it's good again, then it's shit again, then it's good again. Nothing's going to last forever, bro. Good and bad. Now, I'm not saying, some things do last forever, if you know what I mean. But, all the bad stuff is never going to last forever. And if you're stuck and you're trying to make it work and you're doing this and you're doing that, don't fucking sweat it, kid. Don't fucking sweat it, bro. Because it's so easy. Like, most of you guys are watching these dudes online that are and that's why I really held away from like flexing stuff. Like, I know the last video on this channel was like picking up a Ferrari, but it's like, is that what I want to be known for? Do I want to be the guy that's like, just recording cars? Like, I'm a big car guy. That's why I think it's okay. But like, competing for status and going broke trying to look rich is stupid. Henceforth, that wasn't my Ferrari. Before, like, I didn't buy that hypercar. It's like I could buy, like, if you don't think I could buy a Lambo, you might be retarded. But it's like I could buy any car that's probably up to $300,000. And comfortably, might I add. A lot of these guys, just because they can afford something doesn't mean they can afford it. And I can afford it. Not to be mean or rude or non-humble, but what I'm trying to say is you guys are like, it's so easy to get lost in lifestyle stuff. And that's what I used to watch, bro. I used to watch all that stuff all the time. But it's so easy to think that just because someone else is winning that you're losing. And that's not the case. A lot of you young cats need to hear that, bro. And just because you're winning doesn't mean that, just because someone else is winning doesn't mean that you're losing, okay? And just because you're winning doesn't mean that someone else is losing, all right? So don't look at all these guys on Instagram that are very much so pushing and spending all their money to look cool and going broke. Realistically, these guys have debt. These guys have loans. These guys have refunds and this and that, or they're scamming. And they're doing that all to impress more people, to make more, like, it just doesn't check out fully to me, Like, I don't get people to subscribe through flashing stuff. I get people to subscribe because of the things that I say, the way that I say it, the value, the knowledge that I give. And that means, and when I look at the subscriber count, that means a lot more to me than someone with 100K on YouTube that's just showing supercars, So please don't get lost in the whole trap of money, hypercars, this, and that. Supercars, watches, whatever. It's a trap. Now, some of you guys are going to realize it's a trap sooner or later. And some of you guys are just going to take this advice and go and unfollow all of those dudes on Instagram and then really focus on taking proper, actual, tangible advice. It's very easy. And I was stuck in that trap as well. I used to watch all these guys, and I still compare myself to other people sometimes, and I still get lost in it, and I still kind of feel like shit. But like, they're doing the same thing. They're probably not as happy. I know people that have more money than me, but I'm richer than them. In the sense that I have a great people around me, good family, good friends. I'm healthy, I'm young, I'm happy, I'm fulfilled. I know people that have more money than me, but I'm richer than them, and I'm happier than them. I'm more fulfilled than them. And I feel like that should be the real goal, It shouldn't be chasing the whole, how can I get this blue McLaren, this orange blue McLaren? How can I get this high-rise Miami Brickell apartment? Because this guy has it. If you guys knew how much money these dudes online had, you'd be shitting your pants right now. You would be shitting your fucking pants. So another thing I would tell myself if I was to kind of like get to the gist of the video, Because I don't know. If you're still watching this video, bro, super props to you. Comment. I'm not going to be like, comment if you're still watching this video. But like, seriously, props to you if you're still watching this video. Because I've been talking slowly. It's late at night. I might be a little boring, but I feel like it's very insightful. Another thing I would tell my 15-year-old self is stick to one thing, dude. To give you guys a little bit of context, I do e-com, drop shipping. And when I was starting out, I was doing agency stuff. So the agency market alone has been through multiple different cycles. I remember when Iman first came out and started pumping that shit, it was saturated. It was fucked. It was cooked. Then there was a golden age to get in, and you could scale so easily. And then, because it's like everyone sees that, and then they try, then they fail, and then no one's trying. So then if you go in there, you can clean up the market, and then someone else is going to come through, try everything. And it kind of just goes like up and down. Like someone's going to come and sell a course on it. Everyone's going to try it, and then it's going to go. That's just how business models work, right? So arguably, I would have said if I stuck with agency, I would have hit one of those little gold 2-month periods, and I probably would have hit 30K a month, a lot younger, right? And I chose to stick with ecom because it was the first money I made online was through dropshipping. But I think a lot of you young guys are jumping to whatever's new. The grass is never greener, bro. The grass is never greener. The grass is only greener where you water it, okay? The grass is only greener where you water it. If you want to build something cool, you want to build a business, you want to do this, you want to do that, the grass is always greener where you water it. It's never, you don't fucking know, dude. It could be all shade on the other side. The grass could be fucking dead on the other side. It could be mud. It could be fucking concrete on the other side, dude. Like, there could be nothing on the other side. But my point is stick to one thing, because that's how you become an expert, right? Any business is solving problems or selling something. And if you understand it, then you're going to make more money. And that's just how it is. You have to, you get paid based on your experience. Your income is capped in accordance to the complexity of the problems that you can solve. Your income is capped based on your experience. If you have 2 years of experience in something, you're going to be paid like somebody who has 2 years of experience in something. Does that make sense? Like, for example, I do have a program. I'm not going to sell it. Don't fucking buy it. Okay? It's not for anyone watching this video. It's very niched. It's specific. If you want to, you can click the first link in the description, but just don't. Don't, because I don't want to be known as like one of these dudes that's like, buy my stuff. Like, here's the funnel and da-da-da. Our funnel's very simple. It's really just a VSL book a call. That's it. Like, we don't follow up with emails. We don't follow up with phone numbers. We don't do some bullshit. We're very straightforward on this channel and on my second channel as well. But I digress. The grass is never greener. If you just stuck to one fucking thing, you'd make more money. And, I charge a good amount for my knowledge because I've had a couple years in the game. Can I charge as much as if Jeff Bezos came out with an e-commerce mentorship? Probably not, bro. Probably not, because he knows the most, right? But you understand what I'm saying. You're going to get paid in accordance to the amount of knowledge that you have on certain things. So another thing I'd tell my 15-year-old self if I was starting out is understand like what reality really is. And that's such a broad thing to say, but it's like, I wanted to make a video like this. So I set my camera up, turned it on, I sat down, I'm yapping, no script, maybe 2 notes, that's it. And then I'm going to upload it. And then maybe I'm changing someone's life. Maybe I'm giving them the advice that they needed to hear at this specific moment in time. That could be it. So you can really just do whatever the fuck you want. You can mold your reality. You can go and do anything that you fucking want. I wanted to be known for being an intellectually versed person, a well-articulated guy, someone who gave people good advice and helped people. And now you're sitting here 20 minutes into this video, either thinking wow, this guy's super sick, or probably that's it. Because if you're 20 minutes into the video, you either hate me enough, but if you're still watching, you're a fan. You see what I'm saying? But like, you get what I'm saying. And you can literally just go and get whatever the fuck you want. Like I talked about, where you are now in the life you want is between a specific set of actions done in a certain time frame. As I've kind of like gotten more money, I guess, I don't know how to explain it. These last month or two has been very growing for me. I've really learned how to run a proper business, a real business, if that makes sense. Because 2.5 months ago, I went through a very big, this is going to get personal now. 2.5 months ago, I went through a very big change in one of my companies. I fired everybody. I fired my COO. I fired my sales managers. I fired my sales team. I fired my setters. I fired everybody. Everyone. On the same day. And everyone was pretty chill about it. Like, we kind of understood we weren't doing too well on specific things. But the reason I fired him is because I didn't really like the culture based on the company, and I wasn't involved. I realized I got a little comfortable, and I didn't want it bad enough. And now I've been working harder than ever. And I'm so happy about it. But I wasn't involved enough in the company because I didn't care as much as I should have. I overhired way too much. I hired out of laziness. I think ego is one of the biggest killers for a lot of entrepreneurs out there, is people hire out of laziness and then keep the hire out of ego. So it took me way too long to fire those guys because my ego couldn't take the hit of, yeah, that was a stupid hire. You shouldn't have hired those people. And you shouldn't have been paying them that much. And it took me to be accountable with myself and take my ego away and be like, yo, bro, you're a fucking dumbass. And I was like, all right. And, then I fired everybody. And then, believe it or not, I found one of the, I have like, for that specific company, I have a team of 1. Believe it or not. I went from having like 6 or 7 people on my company, to having a single guy as of now. Obviously, it's going to change. And we're making 4 or 5 times more money than we were with 7 employees. And that's wild. I think it states 2 things, to be frank. Number 1 is, if you're stagnating, you're declining. It's just a matter of time before you do so. And I think behind every single window or period of change, there's growth. And growth is good. So it's a net positive. Did I have a couple days to where I was scared and anxious? Of course. I just fired everyone at my company. Of course I'm going to feel weird and anxious and scared. And then I found the right people. I got in touch with the right guys at the right time, found the right people, and now we're here making great progress. Obviously, it's never enough. As Kobe said, job's not finished, but it's great. Number 2 lesson to take away from that is you got to take away your ego. Obviously, like I said, behind that window of change, there was a major ROI at the end of that. But to add on to that was my ego was in the way. I think ego is the big killer of a lot of people because they don't want to admit that they're wrong or be accountable with themselves or say, especially in entrepreneurship. Because this is something that I talk about on my second channel. I say a lot of things like there's a big discrepancy between what you want to believe and what you actually believe. Now, I actually believe I'm a smart dude. But did I want to believe that I made the right decision hiring those guys? Yeah, I did want to believe it. Did I actually believe it? No. So it took a week of thinking and talking to people and being told that it was stupid and getting slapped in the face a little bit for me to actually go and do it. And behind that week of uncertainty, messy, no idea what was going on, anything, it all shaked out pretty good. And I think that's a perfect way, not to end the video off right now, but to kind of get into concluding, is you guys are just rushing it way too much, man. Seriously. You guys are operating in such a low self-worth, which is the one thing that, there's so many things that have come great through the modern generation of guys, right? It's like everyone's religious, everyone's going to the gym, building a business, taking care of their family. It's great. But everyone has the lowest self-worth they've ever had in their entire life. And I think that's because everyone's so rushed and focused on getting stuff, and they're comparing themselves to other people, and then they don't sit there and they're not like, hey, this is unrealistic, and this guy's probably going broke to buy a Lambo. So don't rush yourself, guys. It's all going to shake out A-okay, because at the end of the day, if you're doing what you need to do and you're trying your best, which is, your best is all you can do every single fucking day, then that's all you should be worried about. Day by fucking day, you stack enough bricks, you'll have a castle. I think that's why I can, confidently sit here and talk about this kinds of stuff, is because I've done a lot. And most importantly, I've been consistent. And I've been consistently good. Okay? I haven't been consistently bad or consistently mid. Consistency is a facade. It's fake. It's fugazi. It's fairy dust. But seriously though, consistency is fake. You have to be consistently good in order for things to shake out the way you want it to. So I'm going to end off the video here. I got to go to bed and shower. But subscribe if you found it valuable. Comment down below what your main takeaway was from this video. I'm going to reply to every comment, unless this video gets 1 million views, which I hope it does. But I want to see your guys' thoughts on this. Drop a subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this on this main channel. Maybe the second channel, by the way, is Smith Reese Business. Go drop a subscribe and watch those videos. Those are very technical videos. But if you want me to make more sit-down videos like this and just yap, let me know. I'm open to whatever. Thanks so much for watching. Love you guys. Take care. Stay blessed.